As I'm sure most of you have probably heard by now, Virginia went ahead and passed the red flag law anyways. And this should surprise absolutely no one. Despite the citizens of Virginia strongly opposing this proposed law, despite the protests, despite the rally, the lawmakers of Virginia passed it anyway. And if you haven't figured it out by now, that should show you just how much the lawmakers in this country really care about what the people think. Bottom line, they don't care. They do not care about you. They do not care about what you want or what you need. They only care about their own agendas and the agendas of those who contribute to the campaigns that keep them in office. No amount of protesting affects them because you don't matter to lawmakers. Your votes don't keep them where they are. Campaign money does. So what makes you think you have a real voice? Now, they threw the people of Virginia a bone by offering to grandfather in people who already own the subject firearms if they agree to fully register themselves. And there's the likely chance that this may be overturned by the Supreme Court as unconstitutional, but in the meantime, they get to enforce their law and they get to force you to register, which is all they likely wanted in the first place. In situations like this with lawmakers, an eventual planned for loss is still a win because they anticipated this. Getting people to register may be all they really wanted in the first place. You have to consider how sneaky they are. Think about this. When I was living in Illinois, they imposed a soda tax in Cook County, and it was a heavy tax. It was literally 1 cent per ounce for soda, and people were very pissed off about it. It went up the chain of command and got overturned. However, even though it was overturned, they couldn't physically stop the tax until the start of the next cycle on account of how the law was written up. So the tax was officially stopped, but they couldn't turn it off for several months afterwards. Make no mistake, Illinois lawmakers knew that this would happen, but for a few months, they got to collect extra tax, and that's all they really wanted. They were willing to put people through all that mess for a few extra dollars to cover up for the money missing from the state lottery funds that was missing because of money that was taken from the highway fund, and so on. You get the idea. They got to set a precedence by voting it in, they got to collect their money, which was all they wanted, and they got to let the people of Cook County pretend to have a victory over government when the law was overturned. So Virginia lawmakers may be expecting this red flag law to eventually be overturned by anticipating 1. Setting a precedence, 2. Forcing people to register, and 3. Fooling the citizens of Virginia into thinking they got a victory over the government if and when the Supreme Court overturns the law. Seems like a lot of trouble to go through, but then they think we're all stupid too. And unfortunately, with regards to the average person, they're very likely right. So be smarter than that, and fight back, and don't stop fighting back. People, you have lost too much already. America, you've gotten too soft for too long. It's a sickness, and that sickness has made you weak. And this is where it has left you. Government that just runs you over and no real freedom. Remember, if it's taxed or regulated, then it is not free. You've been living under an illusion of freedom for far too long, and it's time for people to wake up. I don't know what more I could possibly say to you. So stay frosty, folks, and thanks for listening.